Tom Wagner, and I would like to welcome you on behalf of Chief Cale and all the men and women of the Fishers Police Department. We appreciate you coming out for this conference. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce everybody that's standing with me today. On my far right is Mayor Scott Badness, Chief George Cale, Major Mitch Thompson, Captain Ed Gephardt, Captain Lucas Gannon, and Captain Andy Dietz. I'll now turn it over to Chief Cale.
Thank you, Tom. The Fishers Police Department has recently conducted a risk assessment that revealed a direct correlation between the most common crimes occurring within the city. And we've come to the conclusion that illegal drug activity. Taking this information, the police department implemented a very aggressive response to detecting and deterring illegal drug activity in and around the city of Fishers. On Thursday, July 16th, the Fishers Police Department initiated a large-scale, multi-agency narcotics investigation. This investigation began after the Fishers police officer stopped a silver 2007 GMC Yukon for an equipment violation in the area of 96th Street and North by Northeast Boulevard. During the traffic stop, officers observed a strong odor of marijuana coming from the vehicle. Fishers Police K9 Harley was deployed for a vehicle sniff. K9 Harley indicated the smell of an illegal drug coming from within the GMC. During a search of the vehicle, officers located an illegal drug believed to be marijuana. During the search, they also recovered cash and items used to sell and distribute illegal drugs with. The driver and his female passenger were both arrested and transported to the Hamilton County Jail without incident. Further investigation led officers and detectives to a hotel room at the Residence Inn located at 9765 Cross Point Boulevard in Fishers. Officers executed a search warrant and located additional drugs, cash, and one firearm. Information located inside the hotel room led officers to a storage unit at Never Enough Storage located at 10309 East 56th Street in Indianapolis, Indiana. Officers executed a search warrant of a storage unit and located a large amount of marijuana and cash. In total, officers located approximately 100 pounds of marijuana and approximately $330,000 in cash. Additional narcotics and prescription drugs, as well as 3 firearms, were also recovered. This is an ongoing investigation which will be continuing in the weeks to come, and additional charges may be filed. We'd like to remind you that any further information on the content of the arrest must be directed to the prosecutor's office since it's an ongoing investigation. I would like to take the opportunity to recognize K9 Officer Jared Koopman, who initiated this traffic stop. And with his dedication and very professional training, he is the one that made this investigation possible. He knew something wasn't right. Once they detected on the car, he contacted the proper personnel within the agency, and the investigation just evolved after that. This is a very great example of our police work at the Fishers Police Department. And I will say this investigation went seamless. Every division in this department, patrol, criminal investigation, special operations, they come together and worked 16 hours to put this investigation together. And I will tell you, I'm so very proud of these officers, their dedication and the teamwork. And I've been emphasizing teamwork that these folks put together, and that's how we solve these crimes. We also would like to thank some other agencies that helped us. Number one, the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office. County Prosecutor Lee Buckingham and his Chief Deputy Andre Miskiff, they spent the entire day here preparing probable cause affidavits and search warrants to be executed in this operation. And also we had assistance from the Hamilton Boone County Drug Task Force, the Indianapolis Metropolitan Drug Task Force, and Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, and Lawrence Police Department, and ATF was on the scene dealing with the firearms. Once again, for these officers, you see in this room, they worked tirelessly for this investigation. And we are so very, very proud of this agency because Hamilton County is a very safe community. The city of Fishers is a very safe community, and we are going to keep it that way. And this, the rest, is an example of the message that we're sending to the criminals If you come up here and conduct illegal activity, you will be arrested. We can guarantee you that. At this time, I'd like to have our mayor come up and say a few words, if you would. Mayor Davis.
Thank you, Chief Kale. When Chief Kale and I talked about this particular case, we thought it was very important that we get out to our residents and we get out to the media to talk about what our police department does on a daily basis. What Officer Koopman and his K-9 unit did is exemplary work, and to watch the teamwork that occurred over the next following hours in the investigation was truly extraordinary. And I must say, I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this organization, and I agree with Chief Kale when we say that anyone who wants to come up into Hamilton County or come to Fishers and participate in unlawful or criminal activity, they'll be met with one of the most professional, most motivated, and most trained law enforcement agencies in the state. And we're really very happy and very excited about the way that our officers worked, and we hope to continue to provide such a professional level of service in the future. So thank you all for being here today, and thank you especially to Officer Koopman, K-9 Officer Harley, and the rest of the police department for extraordinary work. Thank you. Mr. Wager?
I'll just take a few questions, and then we'll head outside for the demo.
Is it clear at all, the gentleman who was arrested and the female, is it clear how they got this marijuana in the first place?
At this point, that's still, this case is still under investigation, and so we'll be learning more about that in the days and weeks to come.
Is there any indication how long the drugs and the money have been in this storage, storage facility?
Yeah, at this time, we don't know when it was placed at that location.
Is it your belief that they were selling these drugs in Hamilton County, or they just happened to be in Hamilton County?
Based on evidence that we've found, it does appear that they were distributing the narcotics, whether it was just strictly in Hamilton County or throughout various parts of the metro area, we're not sure.
Just
Yes.
the size and scale, where does this rank, I guess, with other busts that the police department have been a part of? Is this the largest, one of the largest?
I believe this is the largest narcotics arrest that and seizure that we've had to date.
Anything even close to this previously that you can recall?
Not to my recollection.
You talked about Hamilton County being safe, getting rid of people who come in to do this. Is this indicative of something that you're seeing within the county? People that are coming in like this and using it as a place to distribute drugs?
Well, obviously, this isn't something that we see on a regular basis, but we do see smaller scale types of drug use on a daily basis here in Hamilton County.
But do you think that people are coming up here with the intent of a new territory to sell drugs?
I don't know that for sure, but obviously, our message is, we want the residents to know that we are dedicated to deterring and detecting illegal narcotics activity here in Fishers, and obviously we're going to use every resource to continue that. But we need their help because we can't be everywhere all the time. We don't want this type of activity in our neighborhoods, in our communities, in our schools, in our places of work and business, but we need them to assist us with their eyes and ears. If they see something suspicious, especially in regards to illegal drug activity, we want them to pick up the phone and give us a call.
Do you believe that this hotel, was that just in sort of an area where they were operating out of? Or how did the hotel play into that view?
Well, right now, we just know that they had spent some time at the hotel. We do not know how long they had been at the hotel.
I can't remember if you covered this, so I apologize if you did, but it talked about other drugs and narcotics that were found. Obviously, the bulk of it was marijuana, but can you cover what the other?
There were additional pills, prescription medications that were found, as well as the marijuana, but marijuana was the majority of it.
Do you believe that they had been selling the prescription drugs as well, though?
Yeah, at this point, we do believe that they were involved in the sale of illegal prescription drugs as well.
Also, just let me get a list again of the other law enforcement agencies that are assisting Fishers as this continues to be working.
Sure, it was the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office, the Hamilton Boone County Drug Task Force, the Indianapolis Metropolitan Drug Task Force, IMPD, and Lawrence, and I believe the ATF.
Have you been able to track down those guns? Has the ATF been able to do that? And have they told you anything about whether they were stolen?
Right, it's still very early on in the investigation, so that'll be something that we will find out in the days and weeks to come.
Early on, the chief mentioned that there was an effort to start looking at drug issues here in Hamilton County more directed. What prompted that specifically? Why were they, you could mention them being aggressive, why was there an effort to do that?
Well, because, you know, in an effort to prevent crime, we gotta figure out what causes it. And so we wanted to put some research into place to kind of figure out if we could determine what is the root cause of this or what is closely associated with it.
But the root, I mean, but what would have precipitated that to say we need to?
Well,
look
just
at
because, you know, we have things, criminal activity that happens every day here in Fishers, whether it be thefts from vehicles or burglaries to businesses or retail theft. So we want to try to figure out how to prevent that, but, you know, we first need to know how it begins. All right, I think that's going to conclude this news conference. If you want to join me out on the parking lot, Officer Koopman and his K-9 Harley will do a demo K-9 sniff for you to get some video of it. Thank you very much.